What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 302 of Empty the Benches. Nick and Mac back with you once again to chat some playoff hockey. Mac, how you doing, my guy? Good to see you again.
I'm good. I've been on the farm all day, so I smell a little bit like cow shit, quite literally. But, we're here to talk puck. That sounds like more fun to me, so.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So, like, what kind of, farm shenanigans did you get up to today? Were you, exterminating some varmints that have been eating your crops, or was it more tilling up the land out there?
No, we don't till. No till, baby.
That's
No
right.
till. But this is it's planting season right now
Of course.
for the farmers that I follow around, and so just kind of getting a 2026 plant update on corn and soybeans, and most folks around here are about halfway done or maybe a little closer with all of their planting right now. So
Nice.
some of the weather has delayed that a little bit. I think most guys typically around these parts like to be done by May 1st if they can. That's kind of a luxury, but that the guy I was with today says he's got about 5-6 days left of it, so.
There you go. Light at the end of the tunnel. Good to hear that. Real quick, I don't know if you saw this, but jumping right into hockey news, did you see McAvoy get 6 games for that assault on Benson?
I did, and honestly, like, I know all the comments are like, oh, the Buffalo Sabres, more like the Buffalo refs, and then like other people being like, yeah, and how much did Benson get? Oh yeah, that's right. Like, and it's like I mean, I agree. It was a slew foot. You probably should have had Benson get something, but I have no problem with McAvoy getting 6. I really don't. You can't take a fucking baseball swing at a guy.
No, that's just, I think we learned this with Malkin. What was that, like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Feels like it. It was probably a month and a half, but I feel like that set the precedent for attempted decapitations with a hockey stick going forward. So, just don't do it. It's not that hard.
What did we think? What did we think was going to happen there? Come on.
Exactly. Well, we've got a lot to cover with you guys today. We've got some playoff series to get caught up on. We have a guest, Charlie from Triple Deke Vintage, is going to join us for a little bit to chat some of what he's doing and just some puck in general. But let's go ahead and just, tick this box off. Carolina Hurricanes sweep the Flyers. Dud. I'm going to call it what it is. Dud of a series.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate because there was moments there where we could have had a series. 2 games go to OT.
Yep.
What was it? Game 2 really felt like there was a world where the Flyers won that game, and if they do and we end up 1-1, who knows what happens? I still don't think they probably win that series, but I think that there were chances for them to make it a competitive series, and just some of those 50-50 pucks and 50-50 battles just didn't go their way, and we ended up with a sweep. So
yeah. So it's now the Hurricanes are the first team to ever sweep the first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is nuts. So it's just nuts that they haven't lost yet. They've come close a couple times, like you said. There were some overtime games. So
a couple now. I think they've had at least 3 overtime games, maybe 4. I think 4.
Yeah, because they had how many in the first round? Was that
at least 1, maybe 2, and I know they had 2 against the Flyers. So
it's not like they're completely infallible. It's not like they're blowing teams out 9-0. So this team can be beaten. I'd love to see someone do it now. That would be nice.
Please.
But they're in cruise control right now. So hopefully, if you're a Hurricanes fan, then they keep it going. But I
will say, getting through the first 2 rounds, and now you're sitting there waiting for the conference final, and you look on the other side about the 2 teams you're playing to find out your opponent. Their series at the time when Carolina advanced was 1-1.
Yeah,
like you've got a potential. You've got a minimum of 3 more games to be played at that point in that series, and you've got the potential of 5 more at that point. Like, that's so much time to be waiting around.
It's a lot of hockey. I mean, that's like what? Because they always give breaks after the first 4 games anyways for travel. So you're probably looking at 7 days there, minimum.
Yeah.
So, they're off. I mean, like we've talked about it before.
Long time.
It's going to give them time to sit. It's going to give them time to recover. Who knows how that's going to affect them. So we'll see in just about a week or so, it feels like. But I want to go over to the other series, the one that If you're a Hurricanes fan, you're probably looking at going, wait, we don't have to play Tampa or we don't have to play the Rangers. This is you're probably licking your chops right now if you're a Hurricanes fan. And that is Buffalo and Montreal. So that series, as of the time of this recording, is 2-1. They play tonight, yesterday, the night you guys are listening to this. So you'll know ahead of we do how this one is going to go. But huge game tonight. I really hope the Sabres tie this one up. That ultimately didn't happen in that West Coast matchup last night between the Wild and the Avalanche. I think we all wanted to see that one get tied up. But yeah, I'm totally with you. Now that the Hurricanes are sitting, I want them to keep sitting. As long as this series can go. I just think for a parity point of view, it would be entertaining.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think after the game, after the Wild and Avalanche game, PK was breaking down this Montreal and Buffalo series a little bit. I think he did a pretty good job of kind of summing it up. And basically what he said is that he thinks if this series, keeps going the way it has and keeps getting played the way it has, he doesn't think Buffalo has a chance because they are simply letting the Habs play their brand of hockey. I mean, the last two games haven't been very close when the final score, when it's all said and done. And I think Buffalo has another level. Like, I feel like they have another level to get to. And if they can get there, we can get ourselves a series, get it tied up, and keep things interesting. But the way it's gone so far, the Habs are just kind of having their way.
I completely agree with you. I think, the Sabres were kind of like a juggernaut this season. They get their scoring done by committee, which is always, it's a double-edged sword in the playoffs. We've talked about it before, but I think they just kind of ran into another juggernaut in the Habs. That's a totally different kind of animal right now. And like you said, the Habs are completely dictating how this series is being played right now. So,
not to mention Dobash just playing like a god.
He really
taxes
is.
And a Montreal young rookie goalie just having a fucking series and a half. Like,
how many times has that happened to that franchise?
Yeah,
it's just it blows my mind. But it's definitely a Halak-esque kind of performance right here. So, that's a huge game tonight. Do you have a prediction that's totally going to be old by the time everyone is listening to this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna will it into existence that Buffalo finds a way to win this one. I really think they have to. And I think they do. I think I saw they're going with UPL again.
Okay.
Which, I mean, going into this postseason, I fully expected UPL to play every Sabres game,
Same.
and I felt good about that for them too. I actually felt like he was, somebody you could trust. And I was a little surprised to see them so quickly flip and go to Lion. Like the second something went slightly wrong for UPL, they flipped and then they stuck with Lion. And he's been good, but then these last two games, it's like, Got to change something, and I don't hate the move going back to UPL, so we'll see what that does. I think I saw that they're starting him tonight. Hopefully,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams doing that this playoffs. We've seen the Wild do it. We've seen the Avs do it now. Yeah. If that's just the way the game is going, then this is where we're at. So that's a huge game. I think I'm going to disagree with you. I think the Habs go up 3-1 tonight. Just from what I've seen, I don't really... I know you said you think Buffalo has another level, and I do too. It's just, can you access that in one game tonight? Because if you go down 3-1 to Montreal, I don't really see a way where that team is going to, win 3 in a row against that Habs team. I mean, Dobesh easily could just steal you one of those.
Right.
But who knows? What do we know? Just wanted to point it out from our friends and our sponsor over at DraftKings. Montreal is -148 going into tonight's game, so that is pretty telling if you are a bettor.
Yeah.
Any other notes from Sabres Canadiens? Have you, any of the games you've really enjoyed? Any you thought were kind of duds?
I mean, I think game one was the most exciting one, just in terms of it being a closer game and feeling like either team had a chance to win. I do think, I mean, somebody has to say it, we have a lot better jersey matchups going on finally. Like we weeded out some of the really crazy yellow and orange and red, like just so much hard to look at matchups, and mostly that has fixed itself now. So that's important.
They've been good. I mean, Sabres Canadiens is probably my favorite of the jersey matchups that are still going on now, because you really can't go wrong with
Canes
home or
Flyers
away.
Was not ideal, but that one's done with now, so we don't have to bleed through our eyes anymore.
And 90% of that not being ideal is Carolina's fault.
Correct. Yes.
So I was actually around a bunch of Flyers fans this weekend, unfortunately, when they were watching that game. So while that was entertaining, I was also trying not to get shot. But yeah, let's take a quick break to talk about DraftKings for a second, and then we will go over to the west side of the bracket.
No sport flips faster than hockey. One power play. A goalie pulled with 2 minutes left, and everything changes. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for that kind of chaos, with live betting from puck drop to the final buzzer, and DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If you place a pregame player prop bet and your player starts the game but leaves in the first period due to injury and doesn't return, you'll get your bet back in cash. No bonus bets, no opt-in, just real protection when injuries happen early. New Sportsbook customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN, so you're ready for the moment. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Alrighty, west coast of the NHL. Do you want to start with Avs Wild or Knights Ducks?
Let's save Knights Ducks for last.
Okay. Let's start with the Avs and Wild. Huge game last night that our buddy Harry had boots on the ground for. Looked like an unreal time. Sent us some videos and some pics from that. That looked incredible. But the Avs just kind of continue this winning machine that they are. They squeak out a tight game in Minnesota to take a 3-1 series lead. My question to you: can anyone stop this Avalanche team?
Yeah, I'm starting to be pretty firmly in the no camp for that one.
Yeah.
Everyone that I've kind of thought in my head, well, maybe them. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I just don't know. And if this is the way that they are making the Minnesota Wild look, then I really just don't know, because that is a good hockey team. It's not like they're making them look like the Wild aren't looking like jackasses out there, but they're not. They're not quite on their game. They're not playing their best hockey, and the Avs are getting them off their game. And God, I mean, that game last night, I think, is a perfect example of like the Wild did everything they could to like stay in that game. They even they dug deep, found that tying goal early in the third, and then the Avs just get it right back, and it's just like, dude, what can you do? Like, and it wasn't even on like a high danger like chance. It was just on a perfect little pass and separation play, and it's just one of that go ahead goal, game winning goal is just one of those that you're like, fuck. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do there. Even when you turn back the tape, like there's not a whole lot that Hines is gonna find on the tape and be like, well, fuck, we messed up here, we messed up there. Like it's just a better hockey team.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, man. I've watched this team play a lot recently, and I did on the run up to the postseason as well. I tried to catch as many of their games as I could, and they just, we talk about scoring by committee. They kind of just do everything by committee. Like everyone is blocking shots, everyone is selling out for pucks, everyone is creating chances, offense, defense, you name it. They've swapped goalies. It has not mattered at all who is in net for the Colorado Avalanche. It's just crazy to watch. But when you have a hockey team that's this good, it reminds me almost of when they won it in 2022. And, Darcy Kemper's a great goaltender, but it almost didn't matter who was in net. And that's not a diss on Darcy Kemper. That's just a testament to Jared Bednar and how well, disciplined this team is. So,
yeah. And the other thing is like, I think the Wild are, again, they're probably already looking back at game one and going, God damn it, bro. Like that was the one game that was so loosey-goosey, so up in the air for either team that if the Wild had found a way to win that barn burner, we might be talking about a little bit of a different situation here, but they haven't gotten those coin flip moments to go their way, and you need those against a team like the Avalanche.
Yeah. Last night got pretty spicy, obviously, with the Josh Manson, Michael McCarron situation. So first, I want to talk about the incident itself. Then we'll talk about the comments and how that all went down. What did you think of the quasi-attempted butt end? And then what did you think of the double minor call on the play?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a gutless play for sure, and I would have been perfectly fine with it if he got tossed. I wouldn't have had any question about that. Double minor, I suppose, because it's like a high stick. I mean, it's a low stick. They're laying on the ice, but he hit him in the face with the stick, technically, so I guess I can see where they're coming from with that. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure we have not seen/heard the last of that entire situation.
No, absolutely not.
Based on McCarron's comments in between periods, I'm almost positive we haven't seen the last of it. So,
yeah, I think I was fine with the double minor when I saw it. I understand what Dave Jackson was saying when they were breaking this down on TV, that like you're not 100% sure if the stick makes contact with his face, and that's just where we're at with refereeing now. We're breaking down and splitting hairs on literally everything, but I also would have been fine with 5 because, like you said, it's a shitty play. It's attempting to butt end someone. It's attempting to drill someone in the face or head with the ass end of your stick. And I thought his comments were completely justified. What was your response to that?
Well, so those who don't know, first intermission, PK interviews McCarron, and he asked him about it, and he said, he basically said, PK, you know this, you've played against him, but Manson's dirty. He always has been, and that's just his game. But I'm glad he's still in the game. AKA, I want to go out there and rough him up. But then did you see Manson's comments like after the game or today or whatever that was? So he basically said he admitted, he was like, I was just trying to, he was like, I wasn't happy that he like landed on me, which first of all, he fucking like hooked, he gets hit and then he bear hugs him and brings him down on top of himself. Like that's a self-inflicted wound there, buddy. And then he's like, then we're on the ground. I was just annoyed. I'm annoyed at him for landing on me. I thought that was over the top or whatever. He said something like that. And so he's like, yeah. So I'll admit, I'm trying to just kind of give him a little smack in the face or something. And he's like, I didn't know my butt end was like right there. I was just trying to hit him in the face and like rough him up a little bit.
As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, this is so like mom leaves 2 boys home alone. Older brother accidentally dings up the little one. He starts crying, gets hurt. And this is the older brother now explaining this to mom.
Exactly.
And that may or may not come from personal experience. But yeah, let's just move on.
Right.
No, but I agree with you. I don't think we've seen the last of that. I cannot wait to see how that one plays out. Even if they're just doing it as mind games, I love every single second of it. I love it when these guys get a little bit fired up and unload in the media because we don't really see that all that often, or if you do, it's very, they'll say a lot by saying very little, but I love the fact that both these guys just let it rip.
Yeah, me too. I love seeing the fireworks. I like seeing the personality come out a little bit like that too. Like I think a lot of guys are too nervous to say what McCarron said, like come right out and say, yeah, he's a dirty player. Like I love when guys say what they feel like that. And you could even tell when PK was interviewing him like in between periods on the ESPN thing live, and PK let out like like when he said, yeah, he's a dirty player. He was like, oh, yeah. Like, because we're just not used to hearing guys come out and be that blunt, but I love it.
No, it's awesome. I think the game needs more of that. I understand if you're like a young player, more of a quiet player, and you don't want to let that fly, because especially in a close playoff series, you don't want that to become the pivotal storyline or the focal point. So I totally understand that.
But I think veterans should feel more comfortable doing it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like if he didn't say something, both Folignos would have just like broken into the press room, grabbed the mic, and let it rip.
Oh,
so
totally.
Prediction for the game that is tonight, the night that everyone is listening to this, May 13th. That is game 5 in this series. Avs or Wild?
I will go with, I think the Wild on the road, they find a way to get one more.
It's tough. It's going back to Colorado. Our friends
Yeah.
over at DraftKings right now, they have it as Avs minus 205 for this game.
Wow.
So kind of tells you everything you need to know, but I'm with you.
That's-
You know, I still
That's
want the
juicy
Wild.
enough.
I still want the Wild to win this series. I have to go with them. So fingers crossed they can get one here.
That's juicy enough to throw $20 or you know, couple bones, couple units on Wild money line. You might as well.
Yeah, I was
It's
talking
the
to some
playoffs, like, come on.
exactly. I was talking to some friends about this over the weekend, and we were discussing who the majority of the nation do you think is rooting for in this series. I kind of got the vibe that pretty much everyone in the United States outside of the Denver area is rooting for the Minnesota Wild, and then if you're Canadian, you're rooting against the Wild because of all the USA players on that team.
I think you've got it spot on. Yep.
But let's go ahead over and do Knights Ducks, our 4th out of 4 series that we have left. So big game tonight, game 5, 9:30 p.m. on May 12th, which is yesterday for you guys. The series is tied up at 2. I have the 2003 Stanley Cup Final Ducks tarp on now. I am manifesting a Ducks win tonight. I cannot have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes both in the conference final. That is a very bad situation for this podcast.
Could not agree more. And we need a Ducks win bad. This series has been awesome. I know we haven't had like an OT super close game yet, but that last one was awfully good. And I don't know, man. I don't think anyone had it on their card that Anaheim and Vegas would have like the most like close and cutthroat second round series, but that's the way it's been so far.
Yeah, I also wanted, I know we love to rip on Vegas and shit all over them whenever we get the chance, but Mitch Marner, dude, have yourself a playoffs. I mean, he's playing
so
out of his mind right now, and it's just amazing what a talented player can do when you get them out of a shitty situation. Like,
no, seriously,
it's just I feel for the guy. I'm happy for him now, but I'm sure Leafs Nation is none too pleased to see that happen, especially in such a quick turnaround in his first season.
Yeah, I will say there's a couple key injuries that are interesting in this series. Gudas still out for Game 5 last I checked.
Yes.
And I know their D is like, I don't know, I heard Chicklets talking about this, but, on paper you might think they're okay without him, like just from a position standpoint and all that, but there's no one else on the Ducks that instills as much fear in the opponent as a guy like Radko Gudas.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think he's important for that reason. He's also the captain. So, I mean, not having him, I think, certainly does take a toll. And then for the Knights, Mark Stone also remains out for Game 5. So that's a big one.
However, fortunately, that is just kind of par for the course with Mark Stone and the Vegas Golden Knights, unfortunately. So it's nothing they haven't had to overcome before.
It is, but I will say every time he's going through one of these like injuries, the second he comes back, he immediately makes an impact and scores and has like a 3-point game. So like, not having him in is definitely still a big disadvantage. So
absolutely.
It'll be interesting.
When he's in the lineup, he's one of the most effective players in the entire Stanley Cup playoffs.
Clutch. He just knows how to like get a big goal at an important time. He's just that like, dude.
The way he plays the game, he is the ultimate Stanley Cup playoff guy you want on your team.
He's their captain too, isn't he?
I believe so.
So both teams are missing their captains.
Nice.
Jeez.
That left side of the Ducks defense is incredibly young. I know they're all immensely talented. You have Lacombe, Mintyukov, Zellweger, but experience carries weight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, I totally agree with you there. But I've liked what I've seen from our former Capitals in this playoff series. Dowd has been solid. Johnny Rocket's been incredible. I think he's got the hardest shot of anyone in the postseason right now at around 102. So, guy can still smoke the puck like the best of them. But prediction for tonight's game?
I think the Ducks get it done. I really do. God, this one's in Vegas, right?
It is. It is at T-Mobile.
God, so this one would be huge if they could get that one. I think if I honestly think whoever wins tonight wins the series, unfortunately.
Okay. Do you think they win 2 in a row or just altogether?
Altogether, probably 2 in a row because I think they do it at home, but I think the Ducks, in order to win this series, need the buffer of not having to win that next game.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think if they do it tonight, I think they go home and just close it out. But then again, that Vegas team, how many times have they had their back up against the wall and just been like, nope, all right, we're going to be fine. So you just never know. I mean, Eichels looks solid. Dorofeyev has like low-key been great. So
yeah. How about you know who we should talk about? I was talking about this at the bar the other night watching the game, but for Vegas, Brett Howden, 7 goals, 2 assists so far. We were talking about how like every postseason you need like a third line forward like that to just pop off. You know, how many times Nick Bonino, Devontae Smith Pelly, like all those kinds of guys. You need somebody like that who's like a role player and they just pop off for like somewhere between 7 and 10 really important goals. And he's doing that. I swear to God, every time I turn on a Knights game this postseason, he's up there scoring again. And he's not a guy. He's not a household name whatsoever. But
no, I think if he plays in any other market, he's getting a lot more national TV coverage during this postseason because he's essentially doing what Hagel was doing for the Lightning in their first round series. But he's kept it up through 2 rounds now, so he's just having an unbelievable playoffs.
Yep, he's 28 too. He's not that young of a guy. So he's been around. I think he got drafted about 10 years ago or something like that. So, he's been around for a little while. All right, it's now my pleasure to welcome on to the Empty the Benches podcast, Mr. Charles McCulley of Triple Deke Vintage. How's it going, Charlie?
Doing great. First of all, thanks for having me on, boys. I love your guys' podcast, and I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, cheers, dude. I mean, goes both ways. Love what you've been doing with the site. If you guys aren't familiar, look up Triple Deke Vintage on Instagram. Check out the site. Just a whole lot of great gear and jerseys and merch and stuff like that. But I guess, Charlie, let's start it off at the very beginning. Tell everybody kind of your hockey origin story, your earliest hockey memories, how you got into the sport in the first place.
For sure. So I can always vividly trace it back to 2007. My sister was dating a hockey player at the time, and as a surprise, they took me to my first Blackhawks game. It was Blackhawks Blues, and from the moment that I saw that game in person, like I knew I was going to be a hockey fan for life. And as time's gone on, I've been a collector myself for the past 15 so years, ever since I was in middle school, honestly. But taking this Triple Deke thing more seriously within the past 3 years or so, I'd say, and just started the website officially last month on the first day of playoffs, April 18th. The Triple Deke name comes because I didn't have like a pro hockey team to root for at the time. Most people in Chicago didn't have access to watching Blackhawks games because they weren't on TV. The only way you could see them was if you went in person. So these movies right here were basically what got me into hockey in the first place. So I wore those out in my VHS player growing up, and then finally once they did get on TV and they had Kane, Taze, all the different names that you guys, I'm sure you know, it was a really fun time to get into hockey, and it's been nothing but a blessing just getting further and further into the hockey community as I get older here.
The United Center is such a special building. I know Mac and I did a game there last season, or was that this year? I can't remember. They all run together
October,
now.
but
it was October. Okay,
yeah.
So early this season. But we just had such a blast there. I mean, it's such a fantastic venue, and then you've got all the history there, like you were just mentioning. You know, when you're there for the 3 Stanley Cups that they had across 6-7 years. So that must have just been an insane thing to jump right into as a hockey fan.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, it's nothing more that you could ask for as a hockey fan, and I definitely feel very fortunate. And as much as I would love to cry and moan about the sorrows that the team has faced the past couple of years, I always just try and remind myself that, you know, some people still haven't experienced one. So let's count our blessings and let's be nice and trust the process. I do really believe in what Kyle Davidson has planned for the Hawks going forward, and I love where we're headed in the future.
What would you say is like what would you attribute like the first moment of being like, you know what, I love like the jerseys and like that part of the game and I really want to like collect stuff, and like when did that part of your interest kind of really spark?
For sure. So funny enough, I actually have her jersey hanging up right here. Right here was my mom's jersey. She nicknamed me the jersey guy because I would always wear jerseys to school, and she worked at the high school that I went to as a kid. So when I first started going there, she would just tell all her friends about me, and ever since then, like I've always had a passion for it. Like I've always wanted to do something with hockey jerseys, especially like they're endlessly cool to me. I never can get enough of them, even sitting at 80 plus in my collection right now for myself. There's the list is never ending for how many jerseys I want, and it's cool to finally have a chance to be able to share that love with other people who are able to check out my site at any given time that they want to.
I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like hockey jerseys, just in a, in a fashion sense for culture, they're just so different. There's just so much more to work with than there is in any other sport. It's such a distinct piece of sports memorabilia. And, Mac and I have I don't think we're anywhere close to the 80s, but, a decent collections of our own. I'm curious for you, is there any like off limits teams, like I'll never own one of theirs or I'll never put one of theirs on? I know for me, and I would assume Mac as well, like anything that's Rangers, Penguins, Flyers, that's never going to touch my body. So how about for yourself?
Well, I only have two. It's Detroit and St. Louis. I mean, simple as it gets as a Blackhawks fan. Like I have no interest in owning a Blues or a Red Wings jersey in my personal collection in any scenario. Uh, it, no.
Which works well though as a guy who's trying to collect to sell as well, because objectively speaking, they are two of the more iconic logos and probably somewhat highly sought after, I would think too. So if you do come across one, you don't have to make that hard decision of, ooh, do I keep it for myself or do I throw it up on the site?
Yeah, absolutely. That's never a second guess for me. It's like if I come across either Red Wings or Blues gear, which I mean, anybody who knows their hockey history, you're bound to come across some 90s Red Wings stuff anywhere. Like they were just so good during the 90s, as much to my dismay. But yeah, they're definitely the team that I come across the most. But like you mentioned, I have no qualms about letting those go in the collection whatsoever.
How do you usually go about like acquiring your stuff that's in your collection or that goes up on your website? Is this like, are you like an eBay guy? Is it more like a going to physical places and sorting through kind of thing? Or what's your go-to recipe there?
It's definitely a mixture of both. I've been fortunate enough to develop a lot of connections within the Milwaukee vintage scene. I work at another vintage store in town called Say Word, and people bring hockey items in there sometimes. And even if I'm not there, the owner, Benny, does a great job of letting me know whether or not something has come in. Along with that, like I said, I've made a lot of friends in Milwaukee that tend to look out for me, which I'm super thankful for. It's really hard to gather consistent inventory in a market that doesn't have an NHL team and doesn't have like pro hockey interest built into it already. But like I said, I'm super thankful for whatever I could get. And I guess this is also an open invitation that if you are looking to get rid of any vintage hockey gear, feel free to send it over to the Instagram page, and I would love to take a look at it because, like I just mentioned, it's hard to keep a consistent stream going out here in Milwaukee as much as I love it here.
For sure. Let's talk a little bit about the current playoff picture. I know you and I have gotten to watch a couple games together at Elwood's in the last few weeks, but I guess let's talk a little bit. What do you think of the postseason so far in comparison to recent years?
I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with me. Everybody loves the playoffs. It's hard to complain about the playoffs in any way, shape, or form. I am a little worried about how long Carolina is going to be sitting. They're they're an absolute wagon of a franchise, but everybody knows going into playoffs, you want to keep that mojo going. You want to keep rolling the games. Doesn't necessarily mean you want to play 7 every round, but you don't want a huge gap between rounds like the Hurricanes look like they're going to face. I mean, I'm sure they'll do all right. It might affect them game 1, game 2, but they're built for this kind of thing. Rod the Bod's going to put them in the right spot. Otherwise, it's so hard to say who I want to win this Buffalo-Montreal series because I really have a hard time rooting against either franchise right now. It's so much fun seeing both of these teams in this spot in the playoffs. Obviously, it's been a while for Buffalo, Montreal not so much, but such a classic hockey market that I have a hard time finding myself rooting against. As we're doing this, the game that they're playing probably just got underway, so I'm excited to check that out when we're done here. But besides that, I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to stop Colorado. I really have a hard time believing that there's a team that could beat Colorado 4 times in a row. They're again built for this kind of thing, and you could see it in guys like Nathan McKinnon. They're not coming here to finish second place. They're going for it all.
No, I think after the first half of the season McKinnon had, I don't think we want to see him finish in second place again. I know we saw that at the Olympics, and as an American, I absolutely loved every single second of it, but I'm concerned for the rest of the Avalanche well-being if they fall short in the Stanley Cup Finals. But I'd love to ask you another question about the Avs. What exactly do you think has made them just so much better than everyone else this year? We've talked a little bit about it earlier in the episode, Mac and myself, about how they're just this winning machine. But, I'd love to hear your perspective on why they've just gotten so good this year.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a cliche playoff phrase, but they're able to roll 4 lines. It's as simple as that. I mean, you've got to have those waves of guys that you could keep sending in there time and time and time again to just wear your opponent down. I think them and Carolina do the best job of that in all of the playoffs right now. I mean, you've got Brock Nelson on 3rd, sometimes 4th line center. I mean, he's a second-line center on most every other NHL team, especially some young up-and-coming team. Like, he would be a second-line center in Chicago, no doubt. But he knows his role. He plays it really well. And I think the rest of the team just does that in general, too, which is, I mean, paramount when it comes to playoff hockey. You got to know your place, not try and show out, and do what's good for the rest of the guys on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I want to let's hear going into the playoffs when it was still round of 16. Who was your cup final at that moment? And it's okay because Nick and I are dead wrong with ours too. But who was your cup final going into that? And then with what we've got left, if you had to repick, not what you want, but your prediction.
Sure.
What you got?
Well, I was comically wrong with my Stanley Cup final prediction. I predicted Edmonton would be beating Pittsburgh in 5 games. And as we all know right now, that did not even come close to fruition. But a boy can dream. And I guess given the teams that we have right now, I'll give you 2 answers. My dream final would definitely be like Buffalo Anaheim. Buffalo Anaheim would be an absolute gong show, and I think that would be so much fun. But if I had to put money on it's going to be Colorado Carolina. They're the chalk favorites right now, and it's hard to argue against either way that either of those teams play. And when you've got 2 of the top 5 guys that are the best hockey players in the world on the same line, and Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon, it's really hard to say that anybody's going to have a easy time beating them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think Buffalo Anaheim would be an unreal Stanley Cup final. Get some like late 90s, early 2000s vibes back in there. I am all for it, and make me not feel as old as I am, but that would just be a treat to watch too.
Or even a Buffalo, Minnesota. We've talked about it, I think, last week, but those hockey markets, oh God, that would be so good for the game.
I don't think there's enough beer on this continent for that Stanley Cup final.
Really good point.
Well said. They're going to have to start to bring it in over the border from Canada for both of those places. But I do want to put you on the spot now. If you had to give me top 3 either sweaters or pieces of memorabilia that's currently in your collection right now, where you just, every time you look at it, you're like, damn, that is gorgeous. What would those be?
Okay. I'll try and mix it up a little bit here. I mean, my number one is always going to be my early 2000s Marian Hossa black Senators alternate jersey. Just such a beautiful looking jersey, and it's my favorite player of all time. Before he turned 81 too, it's a number 18 jersey, which I really like. Number 2, I'm such a geek about these. They're called these long gone shirts and sweaters from the 90s. They did like a lot of like 3/4 sleeve shirts and like crew neck sweaters and stuff. I have the Blackhawks crew neck, and it's celebrating the 1961 team, which I think is a team that like doesn't get talked about enough. When you got Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita on the same team, like 2 old school legends. Like, it's super cool just seeing all like the different factoids that are littered all over the sleeves and the chest and whatnot. It's really fun to look at. And then number 3, probably the first jersey that I picked up at like a garage sale or something, which I still have. It's a vintage 90s Penguins Robo Penguin, like white jersey. I found that when I was in 7th grade at my neighbor's garage sale, and it's a double XL, and I again was in 7th grade and insisted that this jersey fit me. So you could just imagine how comical that looked. But yeah, I still have it with me. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon, because it's like a nice reminder of like where I've come from for not just collecting, but also the business in general. It's fun seeing like things get up and running with the website, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
I love the throwback NHL hat you have on with the orange and black NHL crest. I've been barking up that tree for years that the league needs to go back to that and stop all this minimalism nonsense. So I'd love for them to bring that back. Bring back Stanley Cup patches like this one that have like detail and intricacies to them. Put it back on the ice
Put it on the
too.
ice.
Like,
Yeah,
come
there we
on.
go.
Like,
You guys beat
what
me
are we
to it.
doing? It's like, yeah, like it really shouldn't be this, just monochromatic and boring. It's not like the Hurricanes are running design for everyone in the league. It should just be,
God,
good.
Come on.
Shots fired.
No, but even as a couple of Penguin haters on this pod, we've talked about those Robo Penguin sweaters are clean. So nice. So sick.
Just such a simple, unique logo that gets the point across of what it's supposed to be, and I feel like it stood the test of time really well. I mean, the diagonal Pittsburgh jersey is like one of the most iconic hockey jerseys, period. And I would love to see them like bring that back as an alternate, like full time. I see no reason why the Penguins shouldn't be wearing that every year.
Absolutely. Well, before we get out of here, I guess just go ahead and plug what's your handle and the website so everybody can go take a look and see what you got.
For sure. So if you want to talk to me on Instagram, it's Triple Deke VTG, Triple Deke Vintage. Or if you want to check out the website, it's Triple Deke Hockey, all spelled out in one word, .com.
Beautiful. All right. Well, dude, thanks so much for joining, and hopefully we'll have some more news to share about some maybe some collaborative opportunities between the two brands in the coming weeks, months. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Anything else before we wrap up the NHL stuff here?
I think that'll do it. Quack, quack, go Ducks, baby.
Go Ducks. I totally agree. Did you happen to catch what happened to the PWHL game that was supposed to be last night?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So postponed due to illness, with this newest illness that they're telling us we need to be worried about, which obviously, take very seriously when you're in a locker room and you're all sharing literally everything. So Game 5 between Montreal and Minnesota, which is Game 7 because they do best of 5, Was supposed to be last night. It was postponed. It is now tonight. So it seems like everything is good to go there. That should be a great game to watch. I'm definitely going to catch that. I've caught a decent amount of this series, and I've really liked what I've seen so far. Winner of this goes to the finals against Ottawa. That should be awesome. They advanced in overtime the other night, but
1-0, right?
yeah, there's been some really good games here. Like I think one of the Montreal games, I forget if it was this round or the round prior, it went to triple overtime. Poulin won it with an unbelievable one-timer.
Right.
So it's been some great hockey to watch, and I like that a couple of these games have been, like they'll start at 7 and then the NHL ones will start at 8, so you can kind of bounce between the two of them during intermissions and stuff, which has been really, really nice.
Yeah, NHL, take some notes.
No, seriously. Yeah, it's been frustrating, but at least we're not getting 10:30 p.m. start times now.
Yeah,
so
that's a little better than it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a trivia before we wrap up here, my guy?
I do, yes.
Shit.
So let's talk about Game 7s. I know you were just talking about Game 5. It's the equivalent of a Game 7, so we're going to talk about Game 7s. I have a list here of every NHL team's most recent Game 7 winning goal scorer. So that could be a Game 7 overtime clincher, or it could just be what ended up being the game-winning goal of that Game 7.
Gotcha.
How would you like to do this? Would you like me to give you a couple teams that I want you to pick, or how do you want to?
Yeah, give me a handful of teams.
All right, let's go with. Why don't we start with the Caps?
Okay, so if my memory serves me correct, their most recent Game 7 was the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That is the game. I'm not certain that was our most recent Game 7.
Okay.
Actually, I know it wasn't, but that is the most recent one that we won.
There was one the year after that.
Yeah, and we didn't win it, so we don't have a Game 7 winning goal scorer that year.
That doesn't count because I've erased it from my brain.
Exactly.
So
yeah, who got the game winning goal in that game?
So is that Ovi?
Yep.
Because they won 4-0.
Yep.
And he scored a minute into the game.
50 seconds in or something, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was him or Berkey. I forgot if that game was 4-0 or if they got one in garbage time. But
right.
Yeah, that's the game I'll always, cherish Andre Burakovsky for.
Yes. Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
How about the Minnesota Wild?
Oh, Jesus.
This one I remember. I remember watching it with my dad on the couch that summer.
Okay. Was this a while ago?
Somewhat. I mean, we all know before this year it had been a while since they won a playoff series.
So is this Nino Niederreiter?
It is.
And that was in overtime, and that was against the Avs, right?
Correct. 2014 round 1 against Colorado, Nino Niederreiter.
I think I watched that one in my Towson dorm room freshman year.
It was kind of like the John Carlson World Jr. goal, where it's like coming down on a rush, looks off the goalie, and then just rips one. And
yeah.
Unreal. Okay. How about... Ooh... Let's go with the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, Jesus. It's the last time the Canucks won a Game 7. Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Is this Alex Burrows?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. You're on fire. 2011.
That might be non-Caps related. That might be my favorite Stanley Cup playoff overtime goal in the last 20 years.
Pretty awesome. You remember who it was against?
That was against the Chicago Blackhawks, and that was sort of like them slaying the dragon, akin to Caps Penguins.
Yes, indeed. Okay, give you like 2 more here. How about give me... Ooh, can you give me Philadelphia?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. How recent was this one? Because I'm thinking of like 4 different eras.
Do you want the year?
Yeah, give me the year. That would be great.
2011.
Okay. Was this the incident against Boston? Is this Simone Gagne?
No, it's round 1 against Buffalo.
Oof. Is this Ville Leno?
Nope. Your final hint is that this guy is still in the league, but not on the Flyers.
Still in the league, but not on the Flyers. Oh, boy.
His brother's in the league, too.
His brother's in the league, too. Is this Shen?
No.
Oh, damn it.
It's a good guess.
Yeah.
JVR.
Oh, that's a great one.
All right, I lied. I'm going to give you 2 more.
Okay.
Calgary Flames.
Oh, boy. Well, it's been a minute since they were in the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, but not that long.
Yeah. Is this
And this is a pretty iconic and awesome goal.
this is Johnny Hockey, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
2022 round 1 versus Dallas from
That's
the
right.
from the corner over there.
Yeah. That one was great.
Beauty. Okay, one final one. The Ottawa Senators.
Okay. I can think of a game 7 they lost. I know one that's coming to mind real quick,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, right.
Shot in the dark, Colin Greening.
No, I'll give you a hint. It's funny.
Okay. It's funny or the player's funny?
It.
Okay.
Specifically it.
Just against the Leafs?
Nope.
JG Pajot?
Nope.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Never.
Oh, throw me a curveball there.
N.A.
So they've never won a game 7?
Allegedly not.
That is hilarious.
And the only other 2 teams on here with an NA in there are like more forgivable. The Mammoth
Okay.
and CBJ.
Is that Mammoth counting the Coyotes? Or is
I think so, because
Okay.
it doesn't have the Coyotes on it unless they just chose to not include them. Although, I don't know. I feel like
I feel like they had one, right?
Might have one.
On that Western Conference Finals run?
Yeah, I feel like they might have, but I don't know.
I don't know. That
Anyway.
was what, like 14 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to.
You did
on
well.
There.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to mess with you at the end there.
It's amazing the things that you don't know. Then I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm storing, Alex Burrows 2011 overtime winner in my brain when I could have,
Yes, sir.
used that for literally anything else. But yeah, anything else before we wrap up?
All set.
Happy belated Mother's Day to all the hockey moms out there, but especially
Indeed.
ours, who are the best. So
Yep. And shout out again to Charlie from Triple Deke for coming on, and make sure you go follow him on Instagram as well. Shop his page, Triple Deke Vintage.
absolutely. We'll make sure you guys do that. Make sure you're subscribe, drop us a comment, let us know what you thought, and we will catch you in the next episode.